The massive alien fleet appeared at the edge of our solar system without warning. Their ships, elegant crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them, drifted aimlessly, many showing signs of damage. Earth's space monitors detected the anomaly immediately, and military bases worldwide went on high alert. Admiral Park stood in the control center of the Seoul Space Command, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of screens. He watched as thousands of unknown vessels appeared on the long-range scanners. "What are we looking at, Lieutenant?" he asked. Lieutenant Kim adjusted her headset, dark eyes fixed on the data streaming across her screen. "Sir, the readings show over 3,000 vessels. They're damaged and drifting. No signs of aggressive movement." The room fell silent as everyone processed this information. First contact with an alien civilization. Something humanity had prepared for but never truly expected in their lifetimes. "Are they communicating?" Admiral Park asked. "Yes, sir. We're receiving fragmented signals. Our computers are working to translate them now." Hours passed as experts worldwide collaborated to decode the alien message. Finally, the translation appeared on the main screen. "Help. Fleet lost. Navigation systems failed. Millions in danger." Admiral Park immediately called an emergency meeting of the World Space Council. Representatives from every spacefaring nation gathered virtually as scientists presented their findings. "The aliens call themselves Arxelians," explained Dr. Song, head of xenolinguistics. "From what we can understand, they were on a planned journey when they encountered some kind of space anomaly that corrupted their navigation systems." "How advanced are they?" someone asked. Professor Joe, the astrophysicist, displayed images of the alien vessels. "Their technology appears to be centuries beyond ours. They can harness stellar energy, and possibly even fold space for faster-than-light travel. Yet something has rendered their systems useless." Admiral Park leaned forward. "If they're so advanced, why do they need our help?" The answer came the next day when Earth sent its first manned mission to meet the alien representatives. Captain Lee led the diplomatic team aboard the ship Harmony. As they approached the massive alien flagship, everyone fell silent in awe. The vessel was enormous, easily 20 times the size of Earth's largest space station. The docking procedure was tense but successful. Captain Lee and her team entered the alien ship, their hearts racing with a mixture of fear and excitement. The Arxelians were tall, with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Their eyes were large and completely black, set in elongated faces without visible noses. They moved with fluid grace despite their height. "We welcome humans," said the Arxelian leader through a translation device. "I am High Commander Sung. We apologize for our unexpected arrival in your system." Captain Lee bowed slightly. "We are honored to meet you. I am Captain Lee of Earth. We received your distress signal and came to offer assistance." The alien meeting chamber was filled with holographic displays showing the fleet's condition. High Commander Sung explained their situation. "Our people were traveling to establish a new colony when we encountered an unknown anomaly in space. It affected all our navigation systems simultaneously. We lost 30% of our fleet before we managed to drop out of faster-than-light travel." "What kind of anomaly?" asked Engineer Min, studying the alien technology with fascination. "It appears to target quantum-based systems specifically," replied an Arxelian scientist named Tyke. "Our entire civilization relies on quantum technology. Without it, we are lost," finished Captain Lee. High Commander Sung nodded. "We detected your solar system nearby. When we scanned your technology level, we realized something important. Your navigation systems are different from ours. They're much simpler," said Tayek with what seemed like embarrassment. "Perhaps," Captain Lee smiled, "but sometimes simpler means more reliable." The Arxelians revealed the true extent of their crisis. Their fleet carried millions of their kind in suspended animation, fleeing from a stellar catastrophe that had destroyed their home system. They had planned to travel to a specific star system suitable for colonization, but now they had no way to find it. "We need your help," High Commander Sung said, his voice carrying both authority and humility. "Can your people guide us?" "Captain." Lee looked at the displays showing the massive alien fleet. Their technology was incredible, yet rendered useless by this mysterious anomaly. She thought about Earth's long history of navigation, from ancient sailors using stars to modern astronauts. Our methods may seem primitive to you, but humans have been finding their way across oceans and through space for centuries. We will help you, she promised. As Captain Lee's team returned to Earth to report, Admiral Park prepared to assemble Earth's finest navigators and scientists. Humanity was about to embark on its greatest mission, guiding a lost alien civilization to a new home among the stars. Captain Lee stood before the Arxelian delegation, carefully unfolding a paper star chart across the large table. The tall, silver-skinned aliens leaned forward, their black eyes reflecting confusion as they studied the hand-drawn lines and symbols. "What is this object?" asked Chief Navigator Tayek, his long fingers hovering above the paper without touching. This is how humans navigated space before computers," Captain Lee explained, "and sometimes even now when technology fails." The meeting room aboard the Earth vessel Harmony was filled with both human and Arxelian experts. Admiral Park had assembled Earth's finest navigators, including Master Navigator Choi, whose family had maintained the ancient traditions of celestial navigation for generations. Tyke tilted his head. "You navigate vast distances with markings on processed plant material?" Engineer Min smiled. "Among other methods, we have backups for our backups." The Arxelians were clearly troubled by this approach. Their civilization had relied on quantum navigation systems for so long that the skills of manual calculation and observation had been lost generations ago. To them, the human methods seemed painfully primitive and unreliable. "May I demonstrate?" asked Navigator Choi, setting up a simple sextant. The Arxelians watched with growing interest as he took measurements from the visible stars, made quick calculations on paper, and pinpointed their exact location. "Impossible," whispered an Arxelian scientist. "Without quantum computers, humans have been finding their way across oceans and through space using these techniques for thousands of years," Choi explained. "The stars don't lie and they don't crash like computers can." As Earth scientists studied samples of the anomaly provided by the Arxelians, the true nature of the crisis became clear. The phenomenon specifically targeted quantum technology, scrambling calculations and corrupting data. But human navigation methods based on visual observation, mathematics, and even paper maps remained completely unaffected. "Your systems are too simple to be targeted," explained Tag, not bothering to hide the note of superiority in his voice. "Sometimes simple is better," replied Captain Lee. "Especially when complex fails." The Arxelian High Commander Sung requested a private meeting with Admiral Park. In the quiet of the Admiral's office, the alien leader revealed the full truth of their situation. "Our fleet carries the last of our kind," he said, his voice solemn. "Over 16 million Arxelians in suspended animation. Our home system was destroyed by a stellar event. We were traveling to colonize a suitable planet when we encountered the anomaly." Admiral Park nodded gravely. "Why didn't you tell us this immediately?" "We needed to assess if you were trustworthy," Sung admitted. "Our scans initially showed your species as technologically inferior. We feared you might take advantage of our vulnerable state. And now? Now we realize that what we saw as primitive might be our salvation." Earth's governments debated how to help. Some nations feared the presence of such advanced aliens, while others saw an opportunity for technological exchange. After days of heated discussion, humanity united behind a single plan. They would guide the Arxelian fleet to a suitable star system within human-charted space. The preparations were massive. Teams of navigators trained to work with the alien technology. Engineers developed interfaces between human and Arxelian systems, and cartographers prepared detailed maps of the proposed route, both digital and paper versions. In the midst of this activity, Navigator Choi found himself working closely with Tyke. The Arxelian was brilliant but struggled to understand the human approach to space travel. "You rely so much on feeling," Tyke observed one day watching Choi work. "Intuition," Choi corrected, "based on experience and knowledge passed down through generations." "Our people lost that connection long ago," Tyke admitted. "We gave everything, to our machines. As the days passed, the Arxelians revealed more about their culture and history. They had been a spacefaring civilization for thousands of years, spreading across numerous star systems. Their technology had become so advanced that most Arxelians lived their entire lives without needing to understand how it worked. Perhaps that was our mistake, Tyke said quietly one evening as he and Choi mapped their route. We forgot how to survive without our machines. On the day before the journey was set to begin, Captain Lee found Tyke studying old Earth navigation books in the ship's library. Learning our primitive ways? She asked with a smile. Tyke looked up, his expression serious. Learning wisdom we had forgotten. He carefully closed the book. Your people are remarkable, Captain Lee. You advance your technology while maintaining your fundamental skills. You remember your past while building your future. The massive fleet prepared for departure. Earth vessels would lead the way, with human navigators aboard key Arxelian ships. The journey would be long and dangerous, but for the first time since entering Earth's solar system, the Arxelians had hope. As the ships powered up, Navigator Choi stood on the bridge of the Arxelian flagship beside Tyke, both looking out at the stars that would guide them home. Ready? Asked Choi. Tyke nodded. We follow where humans lead. The joint fleet moved through the darkness of space like a school of glittering fish. The Earth vessels, small and practical, led the way while the massive Arxelian ships followed, in formation. 2 months had passed since they left Earth's solar system, and the journey was proving more challenging than anyone had expected. Commander Han stood on the bridge of the flagship Resilience, studying the star charts spread across the main table. Beside him, Arxelian Coordinator Bay watched with curious eyes. Their relationship had been tense at first, but necessity had slowly built a bridge between them. The radiation belt ahead will be difficult to navigate, Han said, pointing to a section of the chart. We'll need to adjust our course by 12 degrees. Bay frowned. 12? Our calculations suggest 8 would be sufficient. Trust me, Han replied. I've crossed similar belts before. 12 gives us the safest margin. This was a common exchange between them. The Arxelians, despite their technological setbacks, still relied heavily on precise calculations. Humans, however, added experience and intuition to their math. After several close calls where Han's feelings had saved them from disaster, Bay was learning to trust the human approach. 12 degrees it is, she conceded. The fleet altered course as directed. From the observation deck, Navigator Choi watched the stars shift position. He had been teaching traditional navigation methods to a small group of Arxelians who showed interest in learning. They stood with him now, their silver faces turned upward. See how the pattern changes? He asked. This is how sailors on Earth knew they were changing latitude, long before computers existed. One young Arxelian named Jin took careful notes. But how can you be certain without measurements? The stars are the measurements, Choi explained. You just need to learn how to read them. The journey faced countless challenges. Gravitational distortions forced sudden course changes. Meteor fields required precise maneuvering. Food and water supplies needed careful rationing. And the mysterious anomaly that had disabled the Arxelian navigation systems seemed to follow, them occasionally disrupting communications between ships. During one particularly difficult passage, the anomaly suddenly intensified. All electronic systems on the human vessels began failing. Captain Lee called an emergency meeting with Admiral Park. It's evolving, she explained. Whatever this thing is, it's learning to affect our technology too. Then we fall back on older methods, Park decided. Navigator Choi will take lead position. For 3 tense days, the entire fleet navigated by hand calculations and visual observations. The Arxelians watched in amazement as the humans continued to function efficiently, despite the technology failure. When the systems finally came back online, something had changed in the aliens' attitude toward their human guides. Your adaptability is impressive, Bay told Han as they resumed their normal operations. Our people would have been paralyzed without our systems. Humans have faced disasters throughout our history, Han replied. We've learned to survive with whatever tools are available. The fleet entered a dangerous region known as the Scarlet Nebula. The gases here interfered with sensors, and visibility was severely limited. It was during this passage that the first suspicious incident occurred. Engine failures hit 3 ships simultaneously. Engineer Min, called to investigate, discovered that the failures were not accidental. Someone tampered with the fuel mixtures, she reported to Commander Han. This was deliberate sabotage. Security teams from both species began investigations. Meanwhile, the sabotage continued. Life support failures, navigation errors, corrupted data. Someone or something wanted to stop their journey. During a critical fuel transfer between vessels, an explosion rocked one of the Arxelian supply ships. The blast killed 2 humans and 3 Arxelians working together on the docking procedures. The deaths united the fleet in grief and determination. Human and Arxelian security chiefs joined forces, sharing information openly for the first time. The pattern suggests Arxelian technology, Security Chief Yoon observed, reviewing the evidence. But the targets have been both human and Arxelian systems. As tensions rose, unexpected friendships formed in the face of danger. Engineer Min and Arxelian technician Sun worked side by side to develop security measures that would prevent further sabotage. Their different approaches to problem-solving, Min's creative improvisation and Sun's methodical precision, proved to be a powerful combination. 6 months into their journey, the fleet approached the halfway point, a binary star system where they planned to collect hydrogen fuel from the gas giant planets. It was here that Commander Han noticed something strange about Coordinator Bay's behavior. "You've been avoiding the planning meetings," he said, finding her alone in the ship's garden chamber. Bay's silver skin seemed paler than usual. "I've discovered something troubling, Commander. The sabotage, I believe it originates from the highest levels of our leadership." "What evidence do you have?" "Communications I wasn't meant to see. Some among us believe accepting human help is a disgrace to our species. They would rather see the fleet fail than survive with your assistance." Han looked at the alien woman he had come to respect. "Why tell me this? Your loyalty should be to your people." "My loyalty is to my people," Bay replied. "All 16 million, sleeping souls who will die if we don't reach our destination. And I've learned something from you humans. Sometimes survival matters more than pride." Together they began planning how to expose the conspiracy while keeping the vast fleet on its perilous journey toward a new home. The fleet approached the Cygnus Crossing, a region of space where star systems clustered so densely that navigating between them was like threading a needle. Commander Han stood at the viewport, watching the distant stars grow brighter as they neared this most dangerous part of their journey. "The anomaly readings are stronger here," Coordinator Bay reported, studying the data on her tablet. "Almost 3 times what we experienced previously." Han nodded grimly. Their investigation into the sabotage had revealed disturbing patterns but no clear culprit. "We should gather the command team. This crossing will require everyone's full attention." As they turned to leave the observation deck, the lights flickered. A moment later, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Emergency in Section 7, a voice announced over the speakers. "Life support failing on decks 3 through 5. Han and Bay raced to the control room where Engineer Min was already working frantically at the main console. "Someone has blocked the bow." "Oxygen recyclers," she reported, "and locked us out of the backup systems." "How many people are affected?" Han asked. "Nearly 200, both human and Arxelian." Security Chief Yoon arrived, his face tight with concern. The saboteur struck during shift change when security protocols were briefly suspended for crew rotation. "Can you bypass the lockout?" Bay asked Min. "I'm trying, but whoever did this knows our systems too well." They worked desperately as the minutes ticked by. Through the large windows, they could see other ships in the fleet continuing forward, unaware of their crisis. "Wait," Min said suddenly. "If we can't use the digital systems, maybe we can trigger the manual overrides." "The Arxelian ships don't have manual overrides," Bay replied. "But this is a human vessel," Han reminded her. "We always build backups that don't require computers." Min located the emergency access panels hidden behind the main controls. Using physical keys and mechanical switches, They managed to restore partial life support to the affected decks. "The crew is safe," Yoon reported after checking the sections. "But we've fallen behind the fleet." As they worked to catch up, Han and Bei met privately to discuss their next steps. "The saboteur must be someone with access to both human and Arxelian systems," Han said. "The list of suspects is very small and includes people in this room." Bei added quietly. Their suspicions soon focused on Day, an Arxelian scientist who had been present during each sabotage incident. When they searched his quarters, they found hidden communication devices and technical plans for various ship systems. When confronted, Day showed no remorse. "You don't understand what you're doing," he told them, his voice cold. "Leading our people to depend on humans is an abomination. We were the supreme intelligence in this galaxy before your kind even left their trees." "Then why do you need our help now?" Han asked. Day's eyes flashed with anger. "We don't. This is a temporary setback. Our civilization will recover without becoming dependent on lesser beings." Bei studied her fellow Arxelian with sadness. "Is your pride worth 16 million lives?" But as Security Chief Yoon continued the investigation, he discovered something even more troubling. Day's brain scans showed unusual patterns, areas, lighting up that shouldn't be active. "There's something affecting his mind," Dr. Na explained, showing them the scans. Similar patterns appear in other crew members who have been near the anomaly for extended periods. A disturbing theory emerged. What if the anomaly wasn't a natural phenomenon but a weapon? What if something was deliberately targeting both their technology and their minds? This theory gained strength when the fleet entered the heart of the Cygnus crossing. Here, the anomaly's power peaked. 5 ships were suddenly pulled off course by an invisible force, disappearing into a spatial distortion that hadn't appeared on any scans. "It's a trap," Han realized with horror. "The anomaly led us here." As the remaining fleet struggled to maintain position, Engineer Min proposed a desperate solution. "If the anomaly targets advanced technology, what if we build systems so simple they can't be affected?" Working around the clock, Min and a team of human and Arxelian engineers created hybrid systems, combining Arxelian quantum technology with analog human components. The result was neither elegant nor efficient, but it worked when everything else failed. "It's like putting wooden wheels on a spaceship," Min explained. "But wooden wheels don't need computers to turn." When another spatial distortion formed directly in their path, the new hybrid systems allowed them to detect and navigate around it, while purely Arxelian or human technology failed completely. During this crisis, Commander Han noticed something strange about the distortions. "They're not random," he told Admiral Park. "They form patterns, almost like signals." Park's eyes widened with realization. "Or like a net, closing around us." Further analysis of Day and other affected crew members revealed fragments of alien code embedded in their thought patterns, instructions to sabotage, to divide, to create conflict between humans and Arxelians. "This isn't just an attack on our technology," Bei said grimly. "It's an attack on our alliance." As they fought to keep the fleet together through the Cygnus crossing, Han and Bei realized they faced not just a physical journey, but a struggle against an unseen enemy trying to prevent their two species from working together. The saboteur wasn't Day. It was whatever had gotten into his mind, and it was still out there, watching them. The golden light of Tau Ceti bathed the fleet as they approached the star system after their long journey. From the observation deck of the Resilience, Admiral Park and High Commander Sung watched the distant planets come into view, 7 worlds circling the yellow star, with the 3rd and 4th showing the blue-green colors of life. "Scans confirm breathable atmosphere on Tau Ceti 4, reported Lieutenant Kim, her face showing the exhaustion they all felt after the harrowing passage through the Cygnus crossing. "The gravity is 90% of Earth standard. Perfect for both our species." High Commander Sung's silver skin gleamed in the starlight. "After 1,000 days of travel, we have arrived. Without humanity, our civilization would have perished. The journey had changed both species. What began as an uneasy alliance had transformed into true partnership through shared dangers and triumphs." The mysterious anomaly weapon that had targeted their technology and minds had failed to divide them. Instead, it had forced them to understand each other more deeply than either would have imagined possible. The fleet entered orbit around Tau, Ceti 4. Small scout ships descended to the surface carrying teams of human and Arxelian scientists to test the environment and prepare for colonization. The planet was a paradise of vast oceans, green continents, and clean air. Life existed here already, simple plants and sea creatures that posed no threat to the newcomers. On the day the first Arxelian colony pods landed, Commander Han stood beside Coordinator Bay on a grassy hillside overlooking the landing site. "It's beautiful," Han said, breathing deeply of the alien air that somehow smelled like Earth after a spring rain. "A new home," Bay agreed. "For both our peoples, if you wish it." Earth's governments had already begun discussions about establishing a permanent human presence in the Tau Ceti system. The technological exchange promised benefits for both species, but more importantly, the friendship formed through crisis had created bonds that neither wanted to break. In the temporary headquarters established near the main landing site, Admiral Park met with the leaders of both species to formalize their alliance. "We offer technology, resources, and knowledge," High Commander Sung announced, presenting a crystal data core. "Everything we have is yours to share." Admiral Park accepted, the gift with a bow, "And we offer our friendship, our creativity, and our promise to stand with you against whatever created the weapon that targeted your fleet." The agreement they signed that day established the Joint Defense Initiative, a combined force of human and Arxelian ships designed to protect both Earth and the new colony from the mysterious enemy they now knew existed somewhere in the galaxy. As the weeks passed, the awakening of the Arxelians from suspended animation began. Each day, thousands more silver-skinned beings took their first steps on their new homeworld. Among the first structures built was the Navigation Academy, where Navigator Choi had been asked to serve as lead instructor. In the Academy's main hall, Choi worked with a group of young Arxelians eager to learn the human methods that had saved their people. Though their technology was gradually being restored, modified to resist the anomaly weapon, the Arxelians now understood the value of maintaining older skills alongside new advances. "Today we will learn to use the sextant," Choi explained, holding up the simple device. "This tool has guided humans across oceans and through space for centuries." Jin, the young Arxelian who had shown such interest during their journey, carefully handled the instrument. "It contains no computers at all?" "None," Choi smiled. "Just precision engineering and mathematics. And the knowledge of how to use it," Jin added thoughtfully. In another part of the settlement, Engineer Min worked with Arxelian technician Sun to develop the new hybrid technologies that had proven so effective against the anomaly. Their workshop had become the center for innovation on the colony, combining the best elements of both civilizations' approaches. "The key was simplicity," Min explained to a visiting Earth dignitary. "The weapon targeted complexity. By creating systems that were partially analog, we created shields it couldn't penetrate." Commander Han had been appointed as Earth's first ambassador to the Arxelian people. His new office overlooked the growing settlement where human and Arxelian buildings stood side by side. Captain Lee, recently promoted to Admiral, was leading the first joint exploration mission to chart the rest of the Tau Ceti system. But perhaps the most meaningful change could be seen in the colony's central park, where High Commander Sung had insisted on planting trees from Earth alongside Arxelian plants saved from their homeworld. There, human and Arxelian children played together, learning each other's languages and customs with the easy acceptance that only the young can manage. Watching them from a bench beneath a maple tree, Coordinator Bay said to Han, "My ancestors would never have believed this possible. They thought other species would be enemies or subjects, never equals or friends." Han smiled as an Arxelian child helped a human child climb a tree. "The universe has a way of surprising us all." In the night sky above the colony, the first ships of the Joint Defense Fleet took up their positions, human and Arxelian vessels flying together, their crews ready to defend their shared future against whatever threats might come from the stars.